Hey artists, in this video we're going to talk about how to draw a spiral seashell. Almost like a conch seashell. So for this drawing you're going to need some paper and a pencil. You're going to use a pencil to start off by drawing a spiraled line. So going down and looping around, going down, looping around one more time. So this is the top of my spiral seashell. I'm going to use my pencil to close off the open side so that it looks like I have oval shapes layered on top of each other. This is the top of our spiral seashell. Once you have your closed oval shapes, you're going to be able to add a tall triangle shape underneath for the body of your shell. So halfway through that bottom oval, we're going to start the top and then we'll bring our line down towards the bottom of the paper and then back up to close it off. It doesn't have to be a perfect triangle. Then we're going to draw the opening of the shell coming off to the side with a diagonal line and then connect in with another diagonal line. If you want to add a little bit of depth, add a shape that curves around so that the outside edge of the shell isn't just a line, but it's almost a double line to create a shape. Remember that this line doesn't have to be very straight. It can be organic and natural, just like a seashell. It's going to give it more personality if your lines have a little bit more variety and texture. Then we're going to go back to the spiral and we're going to erase some of the lines that cross over each other so that we have shapes that don't look like they're see-through. And then inside of the triangle shape for the body of the shell, I'm going to erase the bottom part of the curve that looked like a smile. Now I have the top of my spiral seashell and the body plus the opening. I'm ready for outlining with a pen. So you're going to use a pen to go over your pencil drawing and neaten up your lines. So I started at the top, making those curved arch shapes like a rainbow. This is where I think I messed up following the worksheet, but still I think my drawing looks okay. Take your time to outline slowly and neatly so that the black line that you create is smooth. Once you're happy with your line art, make sure that you use an eraser to clean up any stray pencil marks. Now I'm going to add contour details with curved lines in the top of the spiral seashell. By adding these curved lines, it's going to give form and dimension to my seashell, making it look more realistic and more three-dimensional. I'm going to do this on each section of the spiral seashell. Adding in those curved lines that look like a parenthesis is really going to make that part of the shell look very round. If I add more lines near the edges of the seashell, it's also going to make it look like it has more depth. For the body of the seashell, I'm going to draw a curved line, kind of like an S, across the seashell's whole form. This is going to help make the seashell look like it's round and curved. I know I'm going to add color to this, so using these lines will help me make my coloring also feel like the shell is round and curving around. I'm going to use them as a guide while I'm adding color. Inside the opening of the shell, I'm going to draw lines that go from the shell to the outside edge. They're going to be more of a straight line. I'm going to focus on making them darker near the shell and near the outside edge of the shell so that it looks like a little bit more three-dimensional and realistic. In that top section, I'm going to do the lines going vertically. Now that most of the pen work is done, I'm going to add a little bit more just around the edges of the body of the shell to help make it look more three-dimensional. By adding more short curved lines just at the edge, it's going to help make the shape look more three-dimensional. The next step in the process is going to be using markers to add color. Once I'm ready to put the pen down, I'm going to use the same markers that I've been using in my other botanical art projects, just Sharpie markers. When I use the Sharpie markers, I'm going to color a little bit outside of the lines in some parts because I know in advance that I'm going to be cutting these out and collaging them. If you're not planning on cutting things out, you should focus on staying inside of the lines, but I knew that I was going to be cutting this out, so I was okay with coloring a little bit outside of the lines. Because Sharpie markers and other alcohol markers have a layering property, I let the marker layer itself and I'm focusing on trying to follow those directional lines that we drew as our contour details. I'm going to vary the line weight by rotating the pen to use the pointed side and use the flat side. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with my other botanical art projects, which is layering the different colors of marker. If I layer a yellow marker over the peach marker, it makes it more of a warm peach, and it's helping add more form and dimension to my shell. I also went in with a different shade of pink so that I could add a little bit more contrast to the cornered areas where I wanted the shell to look more round. Once I was done, I'm going to cut it out. I can't wait to see what you create for your seashell drawing.